Hello everyone, hope you're great. I'm trying a new type of video here, so let me know in the comments if you enjoy this kind of content. And if you find this lesson helpful, subscribe to the channel because you know it helps. Today we are going to learn three challenging sequences, one for each of the commonly used 7th arpeggio positions. And we're going to apply these sequences on the 5 fundamental 7th arpeggio qualities: the major 7th, the dominant 7th, minor 7th flat 5, and the diminished 7th as well. Obviously, you can apply the sequences on whatever 7th arpeggio or extended arpeggio you want to. I know many of you don't have a lot of time to practice, and that's where short, focused sequences like these can be really helpful, since you can use them to build the repetition needed for fundamental building blocks of music like the 7th arpeggio to really sink in, while at the same time working on your speed, your durability, your technique, whether you want to improve or just maintain a certain level of technical efficiency. You'll see we're going to use some unusual patterns for the left hand, economy picking, hybrid picking, legato, it's all there. Now, before we jump right into the workouts, a really nice practicing method if you're struggling with longer lines or sequences like these is to break them down into separate parts. For example, focus solely on what is going on from beat 1 to beat 2, then from beat 2 to beat 3, and so on and so forth. And this way, you'll be able to understand the underlying melodies that are hidden in this never-ending sequence of notes, and it will make it easier for you to internalize the pattern. Alright, so sequence number 1 is based around this position. And we are going to use the major 7th to learn the sequence. And a major 7th actually is just made up of the root, the major 3rd, the perfect 5th, and the major 7th. So we're going to learn this sequence, as I said, focusing on one beat at a time. So beat 1, hybrid picking on the E string, and then beat 2, so starting with an upstroke. Watch out for this interval of 5th here. So up until now we have this. Now moving on to beat 3, we are going to use our index and our ring finger for these two notes on the 4th string, even though they're a semitone apart. So beat 3. Once again, starting with an upstroke. And to conclude the sequence, beat 4 is this one. So basically, we're ascending the arpeggio from the 5th. Once again, using the index and ring finger on the D string. So all together, Now for the dominant 7th, all we have to do is lower the 7th, one semitone. So the arpeggio, the dominant 7th arpeggio looks like that. And basically nothing changes in terms of the fingers that we're going to use or the technique. So if we apply the pattern, it's like that. Now for the minor 7th, things will become a bit tricky because of the bar that is going on the 8th fret in this instance. So the position looks like this. And as you noticed, if you noticed, on my way up on this particular one, I changed a bit the technique. I used hybrid picking on B string on my way up, so it looks like this. So moving on to minor 7 flat 5, root, minor 3rd, diminished 5th, and the minor 7th. The arpeggio here looks like this. Notice how I'm using my index finger and my ring finger, my pinky, sorry, on the 4th string to help me ascend this diminished triad here. So if we apply the sequence here, sorry, and finally the diminished 7th. So now we have the root, the minor 3rd, the diminished 5th, but the diminished 7th as well. The position looks like this. And if we apply the pattern, it sounds like this. Alright, so all together at a slow tempo. So sequence number 2 focuses on this position. So for example, a C major 7th here, and we are going to focus on beat 1 to beat 2. So hybrid picking once again on the B string, and then beat 2 to beat 3. Okay, so we're starting with this hybrid picking, and then beat 3 to beat 4. We are starting from the pull off here. Okay, so and to finish off the sequence, we're starting with the downstroke. So all together, nice and slow. And if we change to C dominant 7th, once again all we have to do is lower the 7th. The position looks like this. And if we apply the sequence, so for the minor 7th, the position looks like this. And if we apply the sequence, now moving on to minor 7 flat 5, the position looks like this. And if we apply the sequence, and finally the diminished 7th. And if we apply the sequence, so all together, nice and slow. Sequence number 3 focuses around this area, and I've changed the major 7th to major 9, basically replacing the root with the 9th here. So the arpeggio looks like this. And the sequence from beat 1 to beat 2. Beat 2 to beat 3. And beat 3 to beat 4, we are starting with this hybrid. Hybrid on the B string as well. So all together, up until now, we have now we're starting with this pull off. To finish off the sequence. Moving on to the dominant 7th, which is actually a dominant 9th once more. So the arpeggio alone. And if we apply the sequence, moving on to the minor 7th. Okay. Now we have to change the fingering once more. I'm doing all these changes to in regards to the fingering to avoid unwanted noises and stuff like that. So once again, moving on to the minor 7 flat 5. So the arpeggio alone. And with the applied sequence. And finally, the diminished 7th. And with the applied sequence. So all together, nice and slow. Alright, that's it for today. Remember that exercises and sequences like these do help when we want to improve our technique or learn various shapes across the fretboard, but they don't help when our goal is to learn how to phrase the arpeggios and actually use them instead of running them up and down. If that's your goal, consider checking out my JDC masterclasses, since that's my main focus there. I really hope you got something out of this. Let me know in the comments what are your thoughts. Do subscribe and like the video. Take care and keep practicing.